Boys and girls, I am proud to announce we actually pulled off a zero cycle with the sustainless Dr. Ratio comp with my boy Luka. I told y'all, anytime I see Kafka, Luka is getting put me in, coach. Put me in. I'ma lock that ass down. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud to announce that we zero cycle with Luka. We're gonna go over the showcase and explain all the things in details. There's literally only one RNG factor in this showcase. Ting Yun has to get hit. And let me put you on a little Ting Yun lore. You know, apart from her getting sent to the Shadow Realm, at least from what we know so far, she's actually not a Harmony unit. She's a preservation unit. You may not know this, but Ting Yun's also one of the followers of the Masked Fools. She's a follower of Aha, right? And her disguise is the Harmony path. She's actually a preservation unit though in disguise. Her toughness value is high. Her aggro value is like 500. So it's not even hard for this RNG, factor to proc. It's gonna happen. Ting Yun will get slapped at least one time. All jokes aside, she's not really a follower of the Masked Fools, but seriously, we all know how high her aggro is. It's not a hard thing to do, but once she gets hit one time, yeah, you can make this happen every single time. Now it's a little wonky with regards to some things you have to do to ensure the rotations, but once I go over everything, it'll all make sense. Anyways, I'm excited to show this off. This current MOC buff is just absolutely cracked for Dr. Ratio. Not only does it enable him to go 3 times if you want him to, it enables him to not even have to worry about debuffs. They just have them on their head already. Like, it's just a cracked buff for Dr. Ratio. But let's get into it. Alrighty, so first things first, of course, we're using Dr. Ratio, Luka, Ting Yun, and Ron May. Now, I will tell you, if we didn't have this MOC buff with the debuffs, I wouldn't use Ting Yun. I'd use Pella 100%. But because we have those debuffs, I'm actually able to throw Ting Yun on this team, which I want to mention that off of rip, because I don't want you thinking like, oh, this is the greatest comp for Dr. Ratio. It's the greatest comp because of that debuff shit that's going on with the MOC right now currently. Take that off. Pella is going to be replacing Ting Yun for sure. But let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we go ahead and pop Dr. Ratio's taunt. Oh my god, I love that statue, bro. Bro, that shit is hilarious, man. And then we pop everybody else. This is a perfect technique synchronization composition, right? Ting Yun pop technique 2 times in a row, Ron May pop technique, then Dr. Ratio, then you open up with Luka, which allows him to go into the battle with 2 stacks already built, which is nice. One of the things I want you to know off rip, Ratio, he's gonna hit the girl skill on the right to get her toughness shield down. Already the first thing of the battle is very important. This is about to come up right here. So Ting Yun ults Dr. Ratio. Notice I popped Dr. Ratio's ult before she benediction buffs him. The reason I had to do that is because if I give him benediction and then he pops his ult, he jumps in front of my freaking Ron May on the rotation. And if he jumps in front of Ron May, my skill point turn efficiency gets scuffed. I end up falling on Dr. Ratio with no skill points available, which is terrible. So I had to do some wonky stuff. I told you, I had to do some wonky stuff where I ult with Dr. Ratio first, and then I benediction with Ting Yun afterwards, because Ting Yun gives a 20% speed boost to whoever uses the ult that has her benediction buff. So case in point, I had to do a little wonkiness here. But we ult the guy on the left, right? So now anytime anybody attacks the guy on the left, Ratio will follow up for the next 2 times. Now we benediction Ratio. Luka skills her on the right, still leaves her with a little bit of toughness left so that he can break her. And you have to break with Luka. It's all about breaking with Luka. This guy doesn't have physical weakness. Notice I auto attack the person on the right, even though they're not weak to ice, because I wanted Dr. Ratio to have Ron May's ult buffs. So now he's doing big dick damage. So we're gonna auto attack this person right here. Ratio follows up. Bang, sends him straight to the Shadow Realm. Insane. First short you can. Yeah, I love throwing that shit in there, bro. It's great. Okay, so this is huge. Ting Yun went 3 times. Because she went 3 times, she was able to get her ult up and then bring Ratio back into the cycle before the cycle ends. This was incredibly crucial for the zero cycle. So that's why Ting Yun had to get hit at least once. If she gets hit once, she gets enough energy to ult Dr. Ratio and bring him back into the cycle. Ratio cleans that shit up. So now this is also very important, very important. I wanted to show off their debuffs because every single run is a different debuff factor. She could have had 3 follow-up attacks on another run or no follow-up attacks and some defense. It's very random, right? It happens that arbitrary buffs just fall on their head. So I just wanted to show this just so you guys could see what they had on their head. She had horrible buffs. She had 3 defenses. That's nice, but like this is Nike. Like this is an okay scenario. I'd actually say it's below mid scenario. They can get way better debuffs. She can have defensive down by 3 and a follow-up attack, right? And then Kafka can have defensive down and a follow-up attack, but it is what it is. I just wanted to show y'all that the buffs did not carry this run. So very important, we open up with Dr. Ratio's ultimate on Kafka. You actually have to be very careful on this part. Because if you're not careful, Ratio will break her shield instead of Luka, and Luka has to be the one to break the shield, not Dr. Ratio. So the way I did it is I looked up her toughness value. She has 450 toughness value. And then I did a little math between the toughness that Luka and Ratio are able to do. And I'm not kidding, I put it in my notes. I said, okay, so if I attack with Ratio first, and then I attack with Luka, yada, boop, doop, doop, this is how much toughness they do, then Luka's gonna be the one to get the final hit. That's what I did. And I'm not gonna go over that shit because it's too nerdy. But yeah, we ult with Luka, 20% debuff to her, increasing Dr. Ratio's damage. Bang, 126. Finally, Dr. Ratio is going to start working on this girl over here. Notice Ron May's buff is activated this entire time, so everyone's doing maximum damage. Ratio follows up, and now Luka can break. Beautiful. Look at it. God, fellas. You can listen. That is the most vigorous and empowering shout out there. You just say it one time. Pause the video. Say it one time. It's gonna uplift. It's gonna uplift your spirits, bro. Let me tell you something. The barbarian from Diablo 4 ain't got shit on that shout. All right, so we're gonna work on her next. Boom, casual 160k like it ain't nothing. All right, so at this point. This was another wonky play. I could not reactivate Ron May's buff. This shit is hilarious. I couldn't reactivate Ron May's buff because I only have 1 skill point remaining. And if I activate her buff, Ting Yun is going to auto attack this girl over here and break her shield. When Luka has to be the one to break the shield because Ting Yun can't kill her with the break shield, not even with Ron May on the team, especially because Ron May's buff isn't activated. So it was so important that I just auto attack with Ron May. It was unfortunate. What can I do? So I auto attacked with Ron May to preserve the skill point so that Luka could be the one to break this girl's shield. And as you can see, now we have 2 skill points. We can auto attack her on the left-hand side. And then Luka's gonna finish it off. I was actually pondering on if I should give the benediction buff to Luka or not right here. I gave it to him just to give him more attack. She dies to Luka's bleed dot. And then Luka, my boy, I'm proud. I'm a proud Luka player, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? Uppercut the dust off everyone's shoulders. And that's it. That's how you do the 0 cycle. There's literally no RNG in there except Ting Yun just has to get hit 1 time on the first cycle. If she gets hit 1 time, you're good to go. And you could literally do my shit play by play, assuming you have same investment. And yeah, you'll get the same results. The bleed dot just butchers Kafka. He uppercuts her for like 220k. Ratio does a lot of damage to her, and then she takes 2 bleed dots because bleed dot, when you break their shields, lasts for 2 turns. So that's why she just died to the bleed dot. You know what I mean? So she takes 220k. Now she has 2 turns of just regular bleed dot on her. She comes up, takes the first bleed dot, and then she comes up again, dies to the next bleed dot. It's crap. I'm telling you, bleed dot is disgusting. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over these builds. Remember, I have it in 200% speed, so it goes by a little fast. Ratio's at 105 speed, 3400 attack. He has 20 effect hit rate. And yeah, that's my ratio. He's 10, 8, and 8. The reason this MOC buff is so cracked is because Ratio gets advanced forward immediately. So you can go 3 times if you have the proper amount of speed and like dance on a Ting Yun and shit like that. So you can go 3 times a Ratio with an attack percent boot. It's so disgusting. Luka, as much break effect as I possibly could and make sure his effect hit rate's high. So he's landing the debuffs. He's running the break effect free to play Herder Store Light Cone shop. We had him at very high speed. to try and get him to go 3 times, but then I just ended up scrapping it. I want to make sure this is mentioned though. He can go 3 times with that set that it Sprightly Von Whack advances him forward. I just didn't do it because it kept messing up my rotation. I tried it, it was messing up my rotation, so I didn't. But Luka going 3 times is actually a 5,000 IQ play. Finally, Ting Yun's rocking Benediction. She has Benediction. She's rocking the Dance Dance Dance. She has 154 speed. And I changed up my Ting Yun's build specifically for this. It's tailor-made for this fight. I gave her Sprightly Von Whack so she can go 3 times and have that ult up. So this was a lot done. I want to mention something here that's incredibly important. If you just have Ron May's signature light cone, you don't have to worry about none of this shit. Because Ron May's signature light cone gives everyone 10 energy, which allows Ratio to immediately open up with his ultimate without you having to use his skill first, which is, it is a game changer how broken Ron May's light cone is. She does the same type of thing for like Luka. Like Luka will have his ult up earlier and then Ron May can get her ult up. And then it happens again on the next cycle. It's like the most disgusting light cone that was overlooked by me. I'm so mad that I didn't get that light cone. It's such a nice light cone, not just for like this, but like so many different scenarios. Mainly because of the 10 energy. The 10 energy is just broken. But yeah, that's my Ting Yun. She's rocking 2 different attacks, by the way, as you saw. Ron May, Slow May. Slow May with a lot of break effect. She's running an energy recharge rope. She's 999. Her build is break effect and then giving Ratio another 10% crit damage as well as the rest of the party. And that's it. That's the showcase, ladies and gentlemen. Really fun showcase. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about it, man. Thanks for watching, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.